This study also gives us a mechanical understanding of why it seems like IVF may underdeliver. And I use the word underdeliver because a lot of the time, the IVF success rate doesn't match up with the yield for that cycle. So it'll look really good, like there's a really strong yield, and then the success rate won't be there when it comes to conception. And one of the things that was found in this study is that depending where you do the tissue biopsy and where you pull the tissue from to be able to determine the quality of how that cycle is going to be or how much stimulation to use for hormones or certain types of drugs can completely misrepresent the true situation. And I'll give you an example. If there's scarring and fibrous tissue that's scarring around your left ovary, and during the time that you're going to do egg retrieval for the cycle that you just got treated for at IVF is on the left side, and you have PCOS and you're hypersensitive to drugs and hormone stimulation, if you were to determine as the doctor that the side on the left is going to be lower in stimulation because you took a biopsy in a spot of the ovary that was just scarred over and there's not a big bed of follicles for eggs to grow, you can potentially misinterpret that as meaning that you need to stimulate more at that tissue site based on the biopsy that you hold. But the truth of the matter is, that was confirmed with this study, that tissue location and biopsy location needs to be done a little bit more globally or be pulled from multiple sites to be able to determine if that's really the case or not. Because if you're basing the entire IVF cycle and all of them $15,000 to $20,000 that you invested on it on a tissue sample that was done in a spot where there's a low concentration of follicles, the entire cycle could be wasted. And this isn't just bad for the patient. The doctor doesn't like this either, because if the doctor knows that they might want to do this for a couple cycles to be successful and they're just pulling tissue biopsies like based on protocols, but the protocols directing them to the idea that that represents the entire follicle or one single follicle, when the truth is that it actually misrepresents the entire terrain of the ovary, then not only does it make it difficult for the patient, not only financially and emotionally, to keep going through it when the simple misrepresentation was that the biopsy was taken from not enough spots or it was misinterpreting the data correctly. But the doctors would hate this too, I assume. So this is definitely like a huge thing coming out of this, which should and could increase IVF success rates, and something to talk to with your doctor if you're going to IVF.